Hey everybody, welcome back to the Ice and Bean podcast. You're here with your constant co-hosts, Matty J, Drake G, and Colton D. What's going on?
Howdy.
Hey, we're coming at you from our episode number 4.
Yeah, four episodes.
4 whole weeks. We've been doing this for what, like 1 month now?
Yeah.
And, just absolutely crushing it in my IMO. But then again, I'm not a professional.
Oh, love that. We're rocking it, though.
I think so. We're pretty grateful that you're back if you're listening. If you're not listening, you won't know that
anything that we've been doing for the last month.
Yeah, so there's that, of course. But no, that checks out. So guys, how's the weekend going so far?
It's been a good week.
It's good.
Busy.
Yeah.
Busy week.
Still busy.
Wouldn't say busy.
No.
No.
Why not?
Well, I haven't been doing a whole lot. I've just been working out a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like crushing the gym or
Home gym.
home gym?
Just dumbbells.
Just ripping the dumbbell.
Dumbbells / body weight.
Yeah. Are you like a at home CrossFitter or?
Kinda.
Yeah. You
No,
got a kettlebell?
No.
You got a kettlebell.
No, kettlebells are good. Kettlebells are all right.
Yeah, no.
But I wouldn't
no
say I'm a
disrespect.
CrossFitter by any means.
Yeah, no.
I
I've got some friends who are CrossFitters, and it's like Fight Club, but the opposite. They
Yeah.
just always want to talk about Fight Club.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I think I'm going to start going to the gym.
Yeah.
They just opened Fit for Less in Clayton Park.
Fit for Less is dope.
It's so cheap.
I know, but here's the thing. I'm not motivated by the gym or like at all.
I'm usually not, but I have a few friends who are really into it. And the logic is...
Jared.
Yeah, Jared.
Yeah.
Tall Jared.
Tall
Yeah.
Jared.
Yeah.
Tall Jared.
So
Yeah.
I was like, can we go to the gym
Shout out
together?
Jared.
And he was like, we can go to the gym together, but I don't like interact with my gym friend. I just go with them. And I'm like, all I need is that person who's gonna, kind of make me committed to going. Like if I don't go, I want him to text me or call me and be like, why aren't you at the gym?
Yeah.
So I just
Hell
want
yeah.
that. I want something like that set up.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I just like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I am grossly overweight and have no upper body strength, but I just cannot get behind the concept of lifting the weights. So I don't feel motivated by the gym. Now, team sports. I like
Everybody
team sports.
starts somewhere though.
I like team sports.
I'm not going to the gym to get like huge. I just want to get a little bit of muscle and try and lose weight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I feel that. I don't know, man. But no, gym feels hype. I guess I kind of want to go to the gym, but also don't want to.
Yeah, I completely agree with Matt on that one. Like, I would like to do the things at the gym, but I have exactly zero motivation to do that kind of stuff. Like, I understand the benefits of doing it, and like, I'll get a gym membership and go for like 2 weeks and be like, hell yeah, this is great. And then after that 2 weeks, I'm like, all right, I'm never going again. And that's about where it ends.
it's
for me.
definitely like a niche. Like it's not I guess niche isn't the right word because a lot of people like it. But like
Yeah.
I just know like when I was in high school and I started going to the gym, like when I first started seeing results or whatever, that was kind of like I was hooked.
Right.
And then I went every single day. So I'm hoping to start going to the gym, see a little bit of results, and just want to go every day.
Yeah. I don't know. When I play frisbee, shout out Ridiculous. When I play frisbee, I don't know. Like I feel my like I see week over week improvements with my cardio. Like I can run a little bit longer and run a little bit faster and stuff like that. And now that we're able to play again, I'm back into it, and that it does feel good. But like I just don't. Yeah, I don't know. Strange for me. But like it's the same thing for me as it is for you, Drake. Where like I'll get that membership and then I will go to the gym for like 2 weeks and then I'll pay for a gym membership for a year because that's the contract I signed.
Yeah.
And I do not want to.
Yeah, no, it's just like, and I get like even having like friends, like I need an external motivator to be like, you need to go do this. But even still, I'm still like, this isn't the thing I want to be doing.
No, me neither. Circuit training, hard pass.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
Different
maybe
strokes for different folks.
Maybe I'll get a gym membership and meet you at
Well,
the gym.
that's why I'm going to Fit for Less because it's like further like upgraded membership. It's $20. Like it's $10 to go per month
Wow.
or whatever.
That's not that bad, actually.
No.
I might
And
do that.
the only reason I think the main motivation I have is like outside of my direct friend group, which would be like you guys and like the gamer people.
Yeah.
Like I've noticed everybody I hang out with, like basketball guys and stuff, they've all been hitting the gym really hard for the last year.
Right.
And I'm just like, oh, I'm fat. Like I'm like
Yeah.
really out of shape compared to the guys that I try to play sports with. So I've
right.
got to,
Are we all
moderate
getting
it.
gym memberships?
I mean, if the three of us go in on it, then like that's enough motivation for me.
I'll get one if you get one.
You're not going to be able to follow my schedule. I'd be like sporadic with
me.
it. Like I'd be like, some days I'd go at a normal time. Some days I'd go at 3 a.m. because I think they're 24/7.
They are 24/7.
Yeah. So
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I feel good about that though. Maybe I'll get one.
Yeah.
What's your week been like?
My week has been pretty stellar. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, this whole like the last 3 weeks have just been like great weeks.
Action packed.
But between podcasting
And
trips, the D&D weekend, all that stuff, just kind of culminating into the end of the summertime for me. This past week, on the fitness note, I got an early birthday present from my family, which I was not expecting.
Oh.
Which is currently sitting in my bedroom because I don't feel like putting it anywhere else currently. I have a bicycle now.
Oh, an actual bicycle.
An actual bicycle.
Wow, I need a bicycle.
And it's a shiny one, which I wasn't expecting at all, and I'm very excited to have it. I'm absolutely not going to ride it in the city, but I will put it in my car to take it to places to ride.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Why not in the city?
Just
Terrifying.
no. I have zero desire to
Terrifying.
be a cyclist in Halifax.
True.
I-
Now, would you be the cyclist that goes on the road?
No.
No, you're on the
No, trails only.
Trails only, maybe some sidewalks, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so what makes you feel scared to unpack that one for me? Because
Well-
maybe I'm not understanding.
can I hit
completely.
it first?
Oh yeah, go for it. No, go for it. By all means.
It might not even be like this. The terrifying fact of people almost running you over day to day would be one thing.
Right.
But I would never bike in the city just because I know how much I hate getting stuck behind bicyclists, and I don't want to be
Right.
that guy.
Yeah.
Got you.
Like I would
Gotcha.
happily ride on a trail before the city for so many factors, but that's definitely one of them.
Yeah, there's definitely those factors in which and if you cycle in Halifax, like kudos to you. I'm happy that you do that.
Just get out of my way.
Well, it's not even that. It's just you stress me out more than anything because I'm in a giant metal box, and if anything went wrong, your life would be over in the flash of an
It's also the fact that they're transformers and they're like, I'm a bike, which means I'm a vehicle, but I'm also a pedestrian, which means that
Yeah.
I'm going to run through this red light and pretend I'm on the crosswalk, but then I'm back in the road again. Magic. And it's like, you're
Yeah.
really throwing
that-
off my driving capabilities because I don't know where you're going.
That's the frustrating part, is the ones that are like, hello, I am on the road. Oh, it's a red light. Well, I'll just pretend I'm a pedestrian now and just keep going. It's like, well, that's not how that works.
It's not how that works at all.
So those cyclists do frustrate me. And also the city's infrastructure for cycling, although it is becoming a lot better,
Yeah.
is still pretty god awful. And also the Halifax drivers, like they don't care about anything, and that's what concerns me more than anything.
Yeah, working in the field that I do, I can comment. Halifax is actually one of the worst places to drive, period.
Oh,
And our insurance rates are super low, but like they're coming up like the club on a Tuesday, and we need to be ready for that because it's bad here.
Yep.
Like I don't think people realize just how bad it is. Like we have accident rates comparable to Ontario, and we don't have 400 series highways, right? So
let alone the population factor.
yeah,
Because
exactly.
it's probably, no offense to anyone, but it's like, I don't know, Nova Scotia has a lot of like retirement towns in it, and they probably all come through the city, and they probably are just like older people who don't pay attention, and they get into rush hour traffic, and they just end up getting mulched by the people who are driving fast. You know what I mean? Like I've seen so many accidents the past few days because it's been uncommonly busy at all times of the day, and it's like, I always see some old person who went to cross over like 3 lanes of traffic during rush hour and someone hit them. And it's like, yeah, what do you expect? Now we're all backed up to the bridge.
Right.
So,
Oh, yeah. Well, I live over the bridge in Dartmouth, and like I'm pretty central, but one thing goes wrong in the morning, and we're just absolutely mangled.
you're like 2 hours late.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I literally am 12 minutes away from the office if I am careful, even in rush hour, because we go where I live on in the general windmill area, so I can hop the Princess Margaret Boulevard.
Trying not to dox yourself there.
Not gonna
Have
dox
people
myself.
show up at your
Never
front door.
know. You never know.
Never
Have I ever. No, and yeah, so it's just like one of those things. You want to watch out for that kind of shenanigans. But anyway, hop Princess Margaret Boulevard, and then because you don't have to kind of come down through all of the traffic that's, backing up onto the circ, we're there pretty fast. Like once you get onto the bridge and through the tolls and everything merges back in, it's just 2 lanes going straight, right? So it's not that complicated. I don't know. We'll sort of see how it goes.
Yeah, that's fair. But also for me, it's like I also have like right at the end of our road, to also not dox myself, is the trail that like connects all of Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
Like so the one that goes around the whole province. So like that's like an ideal paved, manicured route that I can take basically as far as I want to any given day of the week. So for the next couple of months, I'm definitely gonna, set distances or times and just see where I get.
Yeah.
And just kind of explore some of the off the beaten path places too, because why not?
The best thing about biking is like if you run, there is a set distance. Like everybody has their limit or whatever. But like no matter how like what amount of shape you're in, like if you're biking, not ridiculously hard trails, you're gonna be able to get a great workout in, and you're never gonna be like, I'm dead tired,
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
it's low impact too.
yeah.
And that's a big thing for my poor old man knees,
Yeah.
because not that I'm old, but being as tall as I am, like my knees are shredded all of the time.
Well, just running in general. Like I know a lot of healthy people who run a lot, and their knees are screwed.
Yeah, just absolutely mangled as a result.
Yeah.
So I need to be careful of that for sure. But I need to get a bike too. I love biking, and like it's just distance, right? Like you run and you it's 10K is not that long of a distance when you're running it, and you can go so much further on a bike and still have that sustain that that it feels better. Better to me. I need a bicycle. I just don't want to freaking pay for one. I also don't have anywhere to really put it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, you just got that new Tiguan with
just
lots of room.
Store it on the top of the Tiguan all the time. Just drive around with it.
I mean,
like a
like
douche.
if you really had to, you could put it in, like
I guess,
very easily.
I guess, yeah, no. I don't know. I will one day get a bicycle, and it will be phenomenal, and we'll ride bicycles together.
That would be amazing.
Until that day comes, enjoy your solo ride.
I shall.
In the sunset.
I will absolutely do that. It's gonna be a good time.
It
Yeah.
shall be.
Aside from that, this past weekend we did. So our family does like the last 3 years. This was our third year of doing it.
The third annual.
The third annual. Yes, those are the words.
Nice.
Yeah, our third annual like Labor Day family game night thing activities.
I saw the Facebook.
You saw the Facebook.
I
So you saw the
did.
pictures. Yeah, it was pretty. I mean, you guys saw the cottage before, and then what my grandparents and aunt set up afterwards.
Yep.
This year we actually had a theme. The last 2 years we haven't had a theme, and we used to do it at my aunt's place over in Dartmouth. This time down at the cottage, which is in a place. Don't go there. I'll find you. Don't harass my
Don't have any
grandparents.
money, but what I do have. It was a wonderful place.
Yeah, and so it was a carnival themed event this year.
Nice.
So carnival-esque games, nothing like an actual carnival. It was all things that my grandparents made up, which was super fun.
Did you take home the W?
I may have taken home the W. With an absolutely stellar. The only reason I think I got it was because they had this like, so the pea tree,
Of course.
with the urinal. Yeah. So they had set up basically these targets on a whole bunch of the trees around the area.
Yep.
And then a dartboard on the front of where the pea tree is.
The tree is? Okay.
And it was basically like darts. You had to hit the targets, or
In the
like
tree.
as long as you hit the trees, you got a point.
Right.
And then the last round was the actual dartboard, and that counted towards your overall score.
Uh-huh.
And I, on my first round of darts, got a double 19 and a 15. And my total score off of the darts game was like 105 points.
So you just clutched up
Yeah,
fast.
like
and it
the
was GG, no
average,
re.
the average was like 35 points on the darts game.
I was like putting some thought into it while you were explaining it, and I'm like, I would wash my family at any physical activity ever. And then you said darts, and I'm like, my father is an elite level dart player. I would lose in a heartbeat. Like he'd be like, oh, triple 20, easy, and he'd just get 260s, no problem.
Ugh, that's gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I finished off our tournament with 144 points.
Where was second place?
If I had my phone on me, I could tell you, but I don't because it's sitting over to my right.
That's okay.
So I can tell you afterwards.
Less than
Sorry,
140
podcast.
points.
Yes.
Yeah. Not too bad.
The Grigorshevsky boys, first, second, third. Me, my brother, and my dad
Clutch up.
showed up.
Yep.
Came to win.
Yep.
Got.
I mean,
got,
you gotta win.
Oh,
Was
yeah.
there prizes?
There sure was.
What kind of prizes?
Well, I got a $25 NSLC card,
Hell yeah.
so that's gonna be good.
Yep.
Buy some beers.
Yep.
Or maybe something fancy. Well, towards something fancy.
Yep.
We shall see.
We shall see.
But yeah, that's been my week so far. Bike and game stuff.
Cool.
Pretty solid.
Cool.
Yeah. What about you?
I don't know, man. I had a pretty nice week, but also a pretty chill week. Like it's eventful because we're at the cottage. It's my wedding anniversary was yesterday.
Congratulations.
Shout out Larissa. Thanks for 7 wonderful years. I wonder if So yeah, we were at the cottage for the week, which is in Hubbard's. So it was pleasantly devoid of anything to do.
That's fair. Very fair.
Yeah, we got here on Friday morning. Larissa worked. I had the baby here. We just chilled. Larissa also worked Saturday, but from here, which was nice. Then our friends came over after work on Saturday night, and they slept over, and we had a little bit of a party, which was wonderful. And then I think other than that, I made a couple of trips around. We went out for dinner at the Rope Loft, which was a pretty nice spot.
Right on.
Shout out Rope Loft. We definitely have we've definitely gotten to enjoy the slow pace, but it'll be good to get home.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I completely get that.
I think we're kind of looking forward to getting home and getting back into the normal grind. I did get an espresso machine, an espresso Virtuo. So, okay.
I was just about to bring that up.
At me for having a Virtuo. Okay. I don't have the time for an espresso machine at home. I love to drink all of the espresso from the fancy shops that have the espresso machines, but I don't have one. And nor do I want to pay $500 for one. I will one day, but not at the moment. That being said, though, the Virtuo is fire.
Tell me all about it.
Well, I got the Nespresso Virtuo paired with the Arancino 3 for milk frothing.
Hell yeah, you did.
Hot and cold froth, which is very nice. And I got a sampler comes with the thing, but I got 10 sleeves of coffee. The cool thing about the Virtuos, the traditional Nespresso machines still use what is it, foot pounds for pressure?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, foot bars, sorry. So the Virtuo actually uses centrifugal force in the pod rather than actual pressure. So the pod is shaped like a cup. It's like a half a circle. And basically you pop that thing in, and it basically perforates the top at 10 different places around the rim. And then one large perforation in the middle where it funnels the water in. And then the centrifugal motion pulls the coffee up to the top side, pressed up against those 10 or so holes. The water gets forced in through the coffee. It recreates the same type of, there is a pressure. They can't seem to quantify it with the patent that they have on it right now, but it creates a similar pressure style situation. And it's wonderful. So you don't get you don't get crema in the same way that you get crema from water being forced directly through a puck.
Right.
But that being said, you get a crema-like substance. I'm not going to call it crema because it's not. But you get a crema-like substance on the top, which tickles the same fancy. It's thick and oily, and it's really good. And I really have been enjoying it. We brought it to the cottage, and I've just been drinking like different variations of espresso all week, and I've just been absolutely jazzed.
As someone who owns one of the original line Nespressos, which is fire. Yeah, I'm really excited because there's a price point difference between the one I have and the one you have.
For sure.
And I'm curious to see, having had mine for 4 years now, what the difference in a coffee experience they will be.
For sure.
Because I've been drinking from mine for 4 years, so I'm excited to see how this one, pours out a cup of coffee,
Yeah, it's going to be sick. We're going to have some right after this.
Hell yeah.
I would say that overall so far, like the Nespresso machine, I'd have to give the whole experience like a 9.5.
Oh, they've got it down to an absolute science. Yeah.
It's a science.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Yep.
How much does a sleeve cost? Because you've got 10.
It depends on because you know how they break them down into like their original series, and then they have some like limited edition ones or flavored and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
So like for the cheapest ones, it'd be $7 for a whole sleeve. They're like 79 cents a pod.
Okay. So I'm at about for the basic espresso shots, I'm at about 89 cents a pod.
Oh, I mean, 10 cents more.
10 cents more, but yeah. So really not that bad.
Not at all.
It's the same thing. Like they've got the fancier options or the full coffee cup options that are like somewhere between 99 cents and like $1.20.
Yeah.
That to me, like the coffee that we're drinking at home anyway, like we're getting the specialty brews from North Mountain pretty consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's about $1.50, $1.45, $1.50, somewhere in that range per cup.
Right.
After you factor in like power and water.
Mm-hmm.
To be saving 30 cents at minimum 30 cents a shot feels pretty darn good.
It sure do.
That's not including any milk or anything like that. But,
sure.
But like to save 30 cents a shot, like between my wife and I, we'll save like somewhere between $60 and $70 a month just in
using over
espresso. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
And the cool thing is like I'm a huge fan of this, but like they have this really nice enclosed ecosystem for the purchasing of their pods and stuff. So like you can go into their kiosk and get pods there, but there's also an app that you download, put your credit card information in, and they will ship pods to you. You select which ones you want in advance of when you want them, and they'll ship them to you, and they send them to you with you can also get free of charge a little bag for the recycling. And they're a little red bag.
Yep.
And you fill it up to a specific line. Postage is prepaid, right? And then you just simply send it back to them in the mail. And they recycle it. And now their initiative is to use 80% or more recycled aluminum so that the pods don't sit in the landfills, right? Like unlike the Keurig.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the Keurig. Like it's a reasonable substitute for drip coffee, but it's not like there's a lot of waste that goes into there, and there's not a lot of recycling that occurs.
Oh yeah. Well, they were absolute game changers when it came to the coffee industry because they were the first ones doing anything like this.
Yeah.
But they've definitely lagged on innovating towards the greener earth kind of motivations.
And the Nespresso pods are just sexy.
They are. They look great.
Just look good.
Okay. I'm just going to tell you now, always look out on holidays because they release limited edition flavored things, and they are amazing.
The shout out Nespresso Halifax Shopping Center, because the person there, she literally was, so you know me, I'm a bit of an asshole. So I walk in there and I'm like, okay, tell me about the Nespresso. Why do I want the Virtuo versus the regular machine? What's different? And then so like I hit her with all of those questions, and I was like grilling her, and then I was like, okay, tell me what isn't good about this process.
That's a great question.
And she was like, well, the downside to this Nespresso situation is that we are the only boutique in the province of Nova Scotia. But that being said, our solution to that is that we have this app-based system where you can order your coffee. We'll ship it to you directly free of charge, and you can mail us back post-dated, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, that answer was fire. Give me a Virtuo right now. I'll take the Arrachino. Yeah. After that one, I was like, and as I was leaving, I was like, you did really well. She was like, thanks.
It's like, I don't need you to tell me I do a great job at my job.
Well, that's one of those things. It's a vibe. We had some affogato. Check out the Ice and Bean Pod Instagram. I had some affogato last night, and it was fire. I can't wait. We're going to have burgers for lunch after this and affogato for dessert, and it's going to be delicious. That being said, though, boys, where do we go today? This was
oh, what a day we had.
This was a trip.
This was a doozy. Yeah. So we went with the intention of going to Kiwi Cafe, Rest and Pepperoni. We got there, sign in the window, handwritten. Hey guys, closed for back to school today. That's cool. You think you could have posted on Twitter or like maybe updated your Google account to show that you were going to be closed on this special day? Because we came all the way from Halifax to go to the Kiwi and it was closed. Sag, R.I.P.
And it's like such a highly rated place too that it's like, I mean, you guys come down here semi frequently.
Well, we weren't even the only people there.
Oh, it's true.
Halifax.
Yeah.
Other people from Halifax literally met us at the door to try to go to the Kiwi because it was so highly rated. You snooze, you lose.
Yep.
Kiwi Cafe. There's like some money that could have been had today.
Like that's an hour-ish plus drive that I'm like, am I just gonna make that to try the place out on a regular day? Probably not.
Probably not.
It was really unfortunate too. It was they were literally just closed today, and we were like, "Let's go."
Yep.
We were so amped to go too. Like it was going to be an amazing experience. And then there was like a moment in our standing on the sidewalk, looking around aimlessly, where there was some existential crisis. But don't worry, we recovered. And in a world divided by fear.
Shout out to those 3 guys walking down the street with coffees in their hands, and we were like, "Where'd you get those?" And they're like, "Right up the road."
One podcast stands alone. Here we are. We went to we were standing on the side of the road, and guys literally walked by with iced coffees in their hand. And I was like, "Boys, where'd you get those iced coffees?" They were like, "Oh yeah, left up the street." So we were like, "All right, let's go." So we went for a little jaunty. Found out that there is another coffee shop in Chester that is called Chester's. No internet presence whatsoever. We were literally like standing in front of Kiwi Googling cafe shops near us. No luck.
Yep. The closest one the first one in my Google search took us right back to Hubbard's, and I was like, well, that's not convenient.
Nope. So we went in, checked the vibe, grabbed some kofefe, and now here we are.
Here we are.
Huge turnaround. Got a business card.
pretty
I'll take a
awesome.
picture of it and post it on the Instagram. But
Yep.
it, man, I was blown away. I did not expect it to be as good as it was.
Same.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to be real with you guys. I had no expectations because I had no ability. We had no ability to Google this. We did not know it existed until we walked in, and I was here for it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Having no expectations, I walked in, and then it was a game changer. So I personally,
Are you just realizing that the logo is a corgi?
I am just
Because
realizing
that absolutely goes into my rating score, which we'll get to later on.
yeah,
but
hell
yeah.
I'm happy.
Sorry for interrupting.
No, that's okay. So I got an Americano, which I've been trying to kind of stay towards something that's espresso-y, so I could just understand and taste their espresso. What'd you guys get?
I don't remember.
You-
Okay, sorry. I got an iced latte
Yeah,
with a vanilla shot
and
yeah.
oat milk.
and oat
and
milk.
oat milk.
Yeah,
And,
It was recommended by the barista.
yeah,
and I got a double shot cappuccino.
yeah. Nice. So that's very standard for us. Something sweet for you, some espresso-y shenanigans for me, and then the poo-poo-cheen for you.
Always got to keep them on the poutine.
Got to call it the poo-poo-cheen. Got to drink them. Here's the question then. Tell me a little bit about it. What was good? What was bad? What was your rating for the cappuccino's flavor?
So I'm gonna reserve the the machinery experience for you to discuss.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to leave that aside for right now. But they are using North Mountain coffee beans, which is
so
great.
spicy.
Yeah, I think that might be the key ingredient to highly rated coffee currently.
Well, this is episode 4, and the two best options. The two best options are, two best options so far have been North Mountain.
Yeah, they've both provided that coffee, so that's definitely something. All
right, hit me up. Teach me how to Dougie. If you
yeah, coffee flavor was great.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't quite hit the same way as last week's at apartment 3, but like still really, really good. Had that little bit more of the espresso flavor over Bliss and the Monk. So for me overall, are we rating them now? Do you want to do that now? Okay,
yeah, we're getting
I'm going to give it a solid 8.
An 8.
Yeah,
an 8.
Yeah, it was a good cappuccino.
Where did you place apartment 3?
They were a 9 or a 9.5. They were
I believe you 9.5 them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a pretty good. It's still a pretty good cappuccino, but it's not. Yeah. It's not. What was missing? What would you say, like, overall?
I would say that there was a more robust flavor to apartment 3's,
right.
And that could come down to the tech that they were using.
Yeah.
I would say that there's probably a higher ratio of milk and froth to the one I had today versus the one I had at apartment 3.
Right. And that's a big thing, because they offered 2 sizes.
They did, yes.
They offered a single and a double, and I definitely. So here's okay. So I'm gonna start. I'm gonna go into mine, and I'm gonna make some comments. So one of the things that I really believe for Chester's and for anyone else who's using this type of machinery is a place that you can improve.
Yep.
Train your baristas and get an actual espresso machine. I have no shame. Like, there are shout out to the washroom. There are great experiences that come from espresso machines that grind your beans, tamp your pucks, push the water through, and do everything without you having to touch it. And there's something to be said about not having to do that extra little bit of work on your workload. That being said, though, a handcrafted drink is what we want, and a handcrafted drink is not what we got today.
Yes.
In my opinion. And I know that's a hot take, and there will be people, and you can at me in the comments. Honestly, please at me in the comments, because I would be interested to know what your opinions are on the sort of prefab all-in-one machines versus an actual espresso machine.
And I think you can, like, I've looked into them vaguely just because out of curiosity. You can spend equivalent money on one that you have to do by hand versus one that does it all together. Right. So it's like, when you were making that purchase, what was the determining factor and why they opted for fully automatic versus the personalized experience?
Yeah, absolutely. And so one of the things that I, just thinking critically, like, I could see them saying, oh, well, you know what? I would rather have something that's absolutely consistent every single time, that my baristas press a button and it's reasonable quality and it just works, and then full send from there.
Right, for sure.
Takes away the risk of, we talked about it before, but takes away, check out episodes 1, 2, and 3 if you want to hear about channeling, because I rant. But it takes away the channeling option. It takes away the grind consistency. Like, some people will fiddle with their settings on their conical burr grinders or and whatnot. So, some people will grind this way and that way. It takes away all of that, right? But that being said, it's that nuance and finesse, I think, in my opinion, that ramps up the overall experience. So my Americano it's really well extracted.
Yeah.
It's not too acidic, but it's nothing special. Like, it's got great mouthfeel. I got some chocolatey notes. Like, the espresso is not hidden by the water, which is really nice. But again, it is a all-in-one machine, pressed a button, and now I have a beverage. Right? So it was not handcrafted in any capacity, in my opinion. So I would say that I'm going to give it... do I have to be an asshole? Yeah, I'm going to give it a 7.5. Because honestly, like, not only is the overall beverage not handcrafted, but because it's not, it really lacked a lot of punchiness, a lot of flavor. I am enjoying it, and I would definitely drink one, but I don't know if I would go back and order one specifically. So I'm going to give it a 7.5.
I still think, on the note of determining that you're calling yourself an asshole for a 7.5, like I still think a 7.5 is a reasonable score. Like that's a good score to me.
It definitely is. Anything that's above a 6 is a reasonable score in my mind. But
yeah.
Also at the same time, like I feel like there was an opportunity. Like you walk in there and you're expecting, somebody to be, pulling a steamed milk lever, and like you're expecting somebody to be like live grinding their beans and then tamping them. So the particular machine that they have, like, does not live grind the bean either. So it's pre-ground.
Yeah.
So there's opportunity for bleeding and runoff in terms of freshness on the bean side of things. So like it grinds in batches, but it doesn't specifically grind a tiny amount or a dosed amount for your espresso. So 7.5.
Yep. And it's on that note, just before Colton gives his rating, like if they had done, and it could absolutely have gone either way on the spectrum, on a lower or higher score if it had been done hand done. But there is that potential that my 8 could have been a 9.
Yeah.
Or it could have even been a 10.
Yeah.
But we'll never know.
I honestly think what saved the beverage in the first place is the North Mountain bean.
Yep.
Honestly, I do. Like, and that's, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I honestly think that it saved the experience because North Mountain is just so friggin' good. It's up there. Like it's parallel in my mind with like places like Java Blend. Maybe even a little bit better. Don't at me.
We should, sorry to keep interjecting. We should do like a coffee bean, like rating experience of like house blends from other places and just get like either do them as shots of espresso or as drip coffee. Yeah. And just see what's up.
Well, full control. I agree completely. But yeah, so that's how I feel about it. What did you think about your iced latte with oat milk, vanilla?
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd order something different when I went back.
Okay.
I just really like sweet.
Yeah.
So if you don't offer anything particularly sweet, I'm not going to like it as much.
Yeah.
So it's fair. Like, it's a little unfortunate because I don't have any opinion like you do in the sense of like,
oh, that's fair.
Like you're talking about the beans and I'm just like, me taste, it no taste super sweet. So I'm giving it a 7.
Okay.
And the reason that I'm giving it a 7,
no sweet.
So the reason I'm giving it a 7, and I'll do the little cut that you like.
Gork not sweet coffee.
I give McDonald's iced coffee a 8.5.
Yeah.
This is a 1.5 less than that to me.
Okay.
And
that seems actually pretty fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems pretty fair.
I feel like any coffee shop would feel the hate if I said that about their coffee, like, oh, this isn't as good as McDonald's iced coffee, but like, that's just my addiction. So
yeah, no, that's absolutely fair. I also got just an iced latte, which is their version of the iced coffee. I got double, and it was not that good either.
It's all right. Like, I definitely don't dislike it. Like,
I wouldn't disagree with your ranking.
The fact that I got a latte instead of just like, what I usually get, which is a regular iced coffee, means that there's some opportunity there for me to not like it at all, kind of deal. So giving it a 7 isn't bad.
It's pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna one up you. Sorry, not to one up you, but I'm gonna one up your score. I'm gonna give it an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. Is it that good? No. Like, is there a wow factor? But it's pretty consistent. And like the fact that it's not handcrafted, again, I'm not going to broken record that you understand the concept, but there's a space inside a drink that's got a lot of milk and a lot of sugar in it to allow for it to be, machine brewed, right? So I think that, overall, I'd give it an 8. Like it's pretty reasonable.
I'm giving it a 7 because I would not drive from Halifax to get it again.
Right. And that's absolutely
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that makes sense. There is, however, something on the menu that in hindsight I wish I had grabbed. Okay, this isn't what you're thinking, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
On their drinks menu, not the thing that we ate, because oh boy.
Oh baby.
They have a thing on the menu, and I wish I'd asked the barista because I didn't get one, but if I'm in the area, I will go back there to try. It's called a Canadiana. And I'm very intrigued as to what that is because I've never seen that on a coffee shop menu
Bets
before.
that there's maple syrup in it.
I would like to assume that it's something with maple syrup because they also have like a little like tear shop kind of vibe there with like honey and stuff that I wouldn't be surprised. But if I'm in the area, that's what I'm going to get because I want to know what that is.
Absolutely. I'm Googling it right now, but what is Canadian coffee? Oh. We'll find out.
Should we talk about the almond croissants?
Oh, baby. Yeah, we should. I'm blown away by the almond croissant.
Same.
It was like so good that I can't even I can't quantify how good it was.
Yep.
Like if we're rating, we're not like, you can't really rate it because that's not what we're doing here. But like if I were to, it would be like a 13.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
it was
absolutely.
that good. So picture this. So you've got like an almond custard. Okay. You've got a croissant. Slice the croissant in half. Almond custard in the middle, right? You then take some of that same almond custard just straight across the top. Put it back in with some almond crumble into the oven so that custard on the top gets sticky and gooey and delicious. Bring it out, cool it off, serve that bad boy.
I'm also pretty certain that there was a little drizzle of honey on the top of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I would say there was something.
Yeah.
That's a good call. Because let me tell you, I might go back before we leave tomorrow morning because it was like I should have gotten 10.
Yeah, if there wasn't just like a large lineup of people who absolutely would have taken 8 years to get through to their orders, I would have bought more.
Oh yeah, and like I wish we could find out. I don't know. I don't think that they make them fresh there, but Drake, you do.
I do. I'm more convinced. I think that they are. Maybe even if they're not made on site, somebody locally is doing them because
Yeah.
there's no way that you can make a product like that is mass produced.
No, I would agree. I definitely think, and you pay for them. They're like $4.50, aren't they?
I don't
Something
even.
like that.
I have no clue how much
idea.
Not a
They
sweet
were
clue.
expensive. They were expensive, but it was good.
Here's my way of quantifying it. Have you ever had one of the almond croissants from 2F by C?
No.
Okay, well they're like legendary in the Halifax spectrum of like croissants, and I would say that those are 2F by C's are a drop in the water comparison
Wow.
to the ones we had today.
This one was good. It was crispy and crunchy and caramelized and delicious. It was amazing.
Yes,
That being said, though, we should summon a vibe check.
we should.
Yeah.
I think Colton and I are going to have crossover today.
No.
No?
No.
No.
How so?
I know what I'm giving it. And you're
All right.
not going to match it.
Go first.
10.
Wow.
Yeah. That is a place that I could see myself just hanging out in all the time if I lived
Now,
there.
hold on a second. So when I say crossover, I want to clarify what I mean. I think that it is wow, that was a fast 10. I kind of left me standing there with
Yeah.
my pants down. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. When I say crossover, like I have a want for like a clean, new age, like white countertops, like sharp corners, like that kind of thing. And you have this like preference for like the monk, where it was like fall colors and a little bit run down. I think this brings new age and rustic together in a way that you and I would both like. This is the optimal spot to fit
Yeah.
both of our wants out of a cafe.
So the reason I gave it a 10
Sure.
was because so like the seating was great. Like they have like wooden tables, they have couches, they have everything.
Oh,
like they have
yeah.
lots of seating supplied. The coffee is good. The food is awesome apparently. Like I could see myself spending a lot of time in there and not even feeling bad about it kind of deal, you know what I mean? Like everywhere as we went, I'm like, okay, I can sit here and drink my coffee. There, I would just hang out there.
Hell yeah.
That was a really cool spot.
It's a
like
nice spot.
And like obviously hindsight's 2020, so maybe in the future I'll be like, ooh, giving that a 10 was aggressive. But like thus far out of all of the places we've went, that was by far my favorite.
We were wrong. This is episode 5, is it not? because 4 comes out today, and 5. This is 5 for next week.
Is it?
It is.
Is it not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bliss was 3.
Bliss was 3.
Oh,
Apartment 3 was 4, which comes out today.
Oops.
I thought
Oops.
Apartment 3 came out last week.
Nope.
No.
No,
Oh.
it did. We need to get our heads on straight. But either way, this is the 5th, I'm sure.
Yeah.
This is the 5th one that we've done.
Yeah. 5 episodes in, and I've already
us
found my
digressing
10
about
low.
where we are.
Yeah. The
Like
only
the-
problem is now. Let me challenge you for
Well,
a
no,
second.
but that's the standard now.
No, I agree. Let me challenge you for a second though.
Go for it.
Because it's an hour away,
Mm-hmm.
is it still a 10?
Yeah. Because I'm kind of thinking as, like, how can I
Fair
explain
point
it?
though, right?
Oh, that's absolutely a fair point, but it's like, if there were a place like that in the city, I would hang out there all the time. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
So, like, that's
I
kind
do.
of what I'm going off of. And it's because, like, and I did mention that driving an hour to get the coffee was not worth it, but that's just like a side note. That's not really a determining
Right.
factor for my
Yeah.
score.
Mhm.
But, like, that place was just really cool.
Maybe it'll factor into your worth.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 9.5. I'm not gonna crush a 10 because I don't really believe in that. But like this was the pinnacle in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like if I anytime we come back to the cottage, we're going to Chester. I'm stopping at Chester's for an almond scone or an almond croissant and a covfefe for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I really feel like it's great. So just to kind of describe, like just to piggyback on what Colton was saying, like there's a lot of live edge wood. Like it's the whole place is cut in pine, but there's also some like a really nice slate fireplace, which is very modern. And there's like, it's designed really well. There's some like animal hides. No animals were hurt in the making of this podcast. There were some animal hides on the couches and stuff like that. It was just like really well decorated in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very simple at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't too much.
And they had a deck that we didn't even really check out too.
Yeah, they did. The deck was really nice. There was like 3 or 4 tables on the deck.
Yeah.
And it was like sheltered and just, I think like 3 or 4 chairs per table. So it was very like, bring a group of people, have a sit down. The place that we sat down, the couches were like 2 really nice white couches, sit 3 on each side, nice sort of like coffee table style, it just felt really good. I think overall for me, there were some like archways and like everything was trimmed really nicely and nothing felt like an afterthought. You know what I mean? So I would 9.5 that one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I was really impressed with Chester's overall. I'd give them a 10 if they got handcrafted beverages.
Fair.
It's
I don't
like,
take that into account for.
That's absolutely fair. That's absolutely fair. But I think, like when I walk into a place, because we think differently for sure. But when I walk into a place, like I am worried about those things. Like that part of the ambiance is like, am I going to have to be stressed over whether or not my latte is good?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't have to be stressed if it's handcrafted and handcrafted well. I don't know. I feel like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, 9.5 is a pretty good score for me. I would say, what did you think?
I feel like I'm going to come like way out of the left side for rating for this. Like I think you guys are going to be shocked at what I think. So I had a base score in my head.
Okay.
And then the moment that I recognized that their logo was a corgi,
Right.
which is my all-time favorite dog breed in the whole time old wide world. I will own at least one, but potentially many.
Shout out Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah. The
Sponsor
Queen's
us.
corgi.
Yeah. Queen Elizabeth, if you're listening, sponsor us.
Obviously,
Yeah.
you're listening.
Of course, the Queen listens.
That bumped my score up 1 whole point.
Oh.
Just solely on that
Just
factor.
Just the corgi game.
Yes. If you want to land highly with me, start changing your logos to corgis.
Right. So everybody needs to have a corgi in the logo.
Imagine if we had 20 viewers, but one was the queen. Wouldn't that be great?
Quality high level viewership. Okay, give me your number.
I'm giving it a 9.5.
Another 9.5.
Yeah,
I'm
and I
going to be
think-
real with you. I feel like that's a pretty reasonable score.
I think that might be the highest vibe check score that I've ever given.
Without the corgi, though,
8.5.
you're gonna 8.5 it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna say 9.5 asterisk
With corgi.
8.5.
Sans corgi.
Okay, got it. That makes a lot of sense to
Yeah.
me. I thought it was very reasonably priced
Oh boy.
when I first glanced at the menu. But I'm going to say this. Because it's not handcrafted, that is an explanation as to why.
Indeed.
Indeed. I'm going to say this. My Americano was $3.25. I didn't get anything in it. $3.25 for a 12-ounce Americano. I mean, that's not that bad at all. But I don't think that it was worth it.
Yeah, the enjoyment factor
Went
definitely
down.
brings
Yeah.
that the dollar value for sure.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking?
I'm going to give it on a... Now, remember that just we're clarifying because apparently it was a little bit confusing, which is actually checks out after further review. The lower the dollar signs, the better. You got to think about it like if you were to look at a menu or an online menu and you were to see multiple dollar signs, you would think that it costs more, obviously. So that's what the mantra that we're going here. So the lower score on this side of the worth, which is, again, totally subjective, is better. Lower is better here. Higher is better in the other two categories. So let's say... if I had have gotten an Americano that was punchy and truly delicious, like the one we had last, I would say that it would be like a 3, maybe even a 2. I would say it would be a 2.
Dang.
But because it's just not quite at the level that I need it to be,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it's a 4.
A 4?
It's a 4 on the worth. It's pretty worth it. Now, I mean, we've got to, I guess we kind of got to come at it from the perspective of, would I drive from home to Chester to purchase this drink? Absolutely not.
Right.
But if I'm available in the area, that's where I'm basing my worth off of, for the record. So if I'm available in the area and, it's like a 10-minute, 15-minute drive, sure, absolutely. It's 4 on the worth scale for me.
Yeah, that's really fair. I think all of the recommendations and all that stuff are coming from a place that if you are in the area or have a reason to be down here, absolutely go check that place out.
Yeah. It is pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Overall, I would say. What are you going to put it on your worth? Because you had the puppuccino.
I did have the puppuccino.
Yeah. And how did you feel?
I mean, as puppuccino goes, I think we've determined these days that the low end of the spectrum is going to land somewhere around $4.25 as a base starting price.
That feels right. Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm accepting. For I don't know what probably a 12 ounce. I don't know what size cups the ones we've been getting at. Like the not monk at
This is a 12 that I'm drinking from right now.
Yeah, mine was
This
a 12.
is bigger. Yeah, because you had a double.
So it would be 10 ounce ones?
Probably 8.
8
ounces.
So from Apartment 3 and Bliss, they would be 8 ounce ones.
Yeah.
This one, I don't know what size so they do a single shot and a double shot. The single shot was $2.75.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
Absolutely nuts.
And then for the double shot, it's $1 more. It was $3.75.
Yeah.
So we're looking at 50
Insane.
cents cheaper for 4 more ounces.
Yeah.
Volume wise, and it was
Wild.
a good cappuccino. Again, if it was handcrafted and still landed really well, this would definitely change my worth it value. But I think overall for the experience and the price point, it's an easy 3.
An easy 3.
Yeah.
Well, good for you, man.
Yep.
I think that's a very reasonable approach. I think that, I think overall the coffee was very cheap.
Yep.
Right? I think what I would be interested to know, honestly, is how much, you get a seriously fancy espresso machine, right? One that's going to, make you really high quality espresso from any bean. You're looking at like $5,000, right? These machines, they had 2 of them. They're ranging from about $1,200 to $2,400.
Oh.
So they're half the cost overall. So I wonder if, how long do you factor in the cost of that machine in terms of the price of the coffee?
True.
You know what I mean? They're just making them cheaper, I think. I honestly think they're just making them cheaper because if you look at it, how long would it take you to pay back? If you do a 6 months of business, you're going to, pay off your machine in either case. Right.
Yeah.
So as long as you're open for half a year, 3 to 6 months, you're going to pay off your machine. What when you look at that sort of differential in the cost, like I'm like, is it as a result of a cheaper machine, or are they just trying to be more attractive in terms of price?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's probably a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But yeah, that feels good for me. What about you? What's your worth at for that for the oat milk latte with a little bit of vanilla?
Well, I'd just like to say, Chester's got a lot of like older people in it, and I feel like the price kind of revolves around them because
Huge point.
Yeah, like
Huge point.
Well, in Halifax, you go to these coffee shops, and you probably have so much foot traffic going through there that you can charge more for the same product, basically, because you just have a mass of people who are like, I don't care what I pay, just give me a coffee.
Right.
But when you're, focusing on a target demographic of like 50 different 70-year-old men, they're probably going to want you to be a bit cheaper kind of deal.
Absolutely.
So I figure that's probably why this is actually a more reasonably priced place.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, like I was mentioning this a couple of podcasts ago, but like, I mean, as a millennial, right? Call me boomer, but realistically, as a millennial, like I'm used to paying for expensive coffee. Like I grew up going to Starbucks.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm used to paying $6 a drink. So I feel like here in the city, in places like downtown, you can charge more just based on the fact that people are used to paying more.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably, to your point, I think that's probably something to do with Chester. Like people don't want to pay that much.
Yeah.
So in order to be competitive,
It's just small community things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd like to know, and we can do this off the air, but I'd like to know what the Kiwi costs are in comparison to Chester's, because that would be very interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's your worth?
Worth for this drink specifically?
Yeah, absolutely.
5. I don't know. I didn't like it.
Not that
It's
great.
a 7, right?
Yeah.
So it was $4.50 for the iced latte, I believe.
You got it.
Which is about the exact same as everywhere else we've been.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I might make it a 6 because we went to Bliss.
Yep.
And I got a nice coffee there, and I think it cost about the same.
Right.
And I think I rated it pretty close to the same
For sure.
rating wise. So I'm going to say it's about a 6 for value for me. Just
Okay.
that drink though. Like maybe I could have
that's
gotten
pretty fair.
something that, like if I would have gotten something else that I liked more, I would have obviously rated it
The
better.
question is, like, could you get something cheaper that you would have still liked as much? And I
Potentially.
don't. It's hard.
Well, my issue is you guys know what you're ordering. I walk in and I'm like, what am I ordering, guys?
Yeah,
like
that's super fair.
if that barista would have, not recommended what she recommended, I wouldn't have known what to get at all.
Right.
So
Yeah, fair enough. Super fair.
yeah.
That's pretty fair. Well, I guess that that concludes the portion of the podcast for rating. But I would say overall it was a great spot.
Yep.
I was
absolutely.
really happy with. I was really happy with it. I wish to goodness, this is the last time I'm going to say it. I'm so sorry. I wish to goodness it was, like a traditional espresso machine.
Yep.
And an Italian walks into that location here on vacation and they're going to laugh and walk out. But that being said, I think it was a pretty good experience overall. I really enjoyed the overall vibe. Had a little air conditioning in there too. They had a heat pump, just a single head heat pump for the front, but they had the second head in the back of the kitchen as well to keep it a little bit cooler. So, little air conditioned. It wasn't blistering hot when we were in there. It was warm, but I wasn't sweating. So I'm willing to say, hey, yeah.
Yep.
It's pretty good. It's a pretty good time.
I'll absolutely reiterate, if you're in the area, traveling down this way, want a coffee, absolutely check that place out. It's worth hitting up if you've not been. And if you have been, you probably already know that it's a pretty cool place.
Absolutely.
One quick note for anybody keeping track and listening to all of our episodes. Me and Matt are definitely wearing the same socks again today.
Yeah. #Fruit of the Loom. Let's go get
sock
it.
check.
Sponsor us.
Sock check. What?
Drake, you're wearing the exact same socks you were wearing last show.
Maybe I am.
Perhaps. Well, guys, that's it for us for today. Just wanted to let you guys know that we appreciate you. Please check us out on Instagram. Give us a follow there. Or on Twitter. It's Ice and Bean Pod on Instagram and at Ice and Bean Pod on Twitter. If you're listening to this on YouTube, throw us a like. feed that YouTube algorithm. We'd love to hear from you if you have any recommendations for where we should go next. We're at the cottage for this weekend, so we had the opportunity to kind of look a little bit further than the core of the city, which is fantastic for continuity. So anywhere is good. Anything, any remarks that you guys want to close with?
No, just adding on to the liking of all that stuff, commenting on the YouTube videos is awesome. We like being able to interact with the people who are listening to us. Engaging with us gives us a chance to like reach out to the folks who are listening to the podcast. So whether that's in a YouTube comment or DMing us right on the Instagram or Twitter, we love that. And any comment, criticism, compliment, random thought you had while listening to the podcast, hit us up with it.
Yes. Please come at me in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
love that.
We welcome all variety of commentary. So, yeah.
That's
Thanks for listening.
Fantastic. We're going to catch you guys next week. Have a good one.
See ya.
Bye.